I'm the one that killed Monday and whooped Tuesday and put Wednesday in the hospital. Called up Thursday to tell Friday not to burst Saturday on Sunday. It's mighty, mighty long. You want to see it? I'll show them, mother. What you looking for, brother?
That shit ain't mine. I don't know how it got there. You're under arrest.
Now don't be long.
Baby, this is gonna be the shortest phone call in Bell Telephone's history. Can you dig it?
God damn! These dope-headed junkies make me sick. That's why in the ghetto can't have. That caught me in the bed with his wife. Now he want to try to take my life. Both step on it and step on it quick.
Rudy Ray Moore lived in the closet for many, many years.
What if I told you that the man who invented rap never got the credit he deserved, that he died broke, forgotten by mainstream America, only to have Eddie Murphy resurrect his legacy 11 years later?
He is a dude that believed in himself, you know, and when he couldn't get in, he went the back door and he he went and got somebody to write it, and he went and paid out of his own pocket and he got it made. And we're making a movie about his life now. And he's a guy his story is inspiration.
On March 17, 1927, in Fort Smith, Arkansas, a baby boy named Rudolph Frank Moore entered the world with nothing but 7 siblings, a church choir, and dreams too big for anyone to understand. Nobody could have predicted that this kid would become the most influential figure in hip-hop history, create a cinematic icon that terrified Hollywood, and live a secret life that shocked everyone who thought they knew him.
You know, giving a special shout out, a tribute to the greatest of all time. Like I said, without him, there wouldn't be no rap community. He was through with it before we knew what to do with it. And we're gonna continue to push this real and keep it going on and take it to the next level.
This is the story of Rudy Ray Moore, the man behind Dolemite. And trust me, when I say his journey will leave you speechless.
Dolemite is my name, and rapping and tapping is my game. I'm the one that killed Monday and whooped Tuesday and put Wednesday in the hospital.
Rudy Ray Moore grew up as the oldest of 7 children in Fort Smith, Arkansas. His childhood wasn't glamorous. He sang in church, watched his mother remarry, and briefly lived in nearby Paris, Logan County before returning to Fort Smith. But even as a kid performing gospel songs on Sunday mornings, Rudy had something special, a rhythm, a cadence, a way of commanding attention that made people stop and listen. He didn't know it yet, but those church performances were training him for something revolutionary.
I have been entertainment inclined ever since I was just a boy. My mother used to teach me poems like the old Robert Louis Stevenson.
In 1942, at just 15 years old, Rudy made a decision that would change his life forever. He packed his bags and moved to Cleveland, Ohio.
I really grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, but in order to try to build my career, I moved to California.
No safety net, no backup plan, just raw determination and a voice that refused to stay silent.
And she'd get a poem ready for me, and I would recite this poem, and people would say he's going to be a preacher.
In Cleveland, he took any job he could find, peeling potatoes, washing dishes, doing whatever it took to survive. But Rudy wasn't built for kitchen work. One night, he wandered into a local talent contest, watched performers take the stage, and thought to himself, I can do that, better than that actually. And he was right. Rudy started winning talent contests left and right, performing comedy bits mixed with singing that had audiences roaring with laughter.
Called up Thursday to tell Friday not to burst Saturday on Sunday.
By 17, he landed a gig at Cleveland's Blue Flame Show Bar and Moonglow nightclub. But here's where it gets interesting. Rudy didn't perform as himself. He created an alter ego called Prince Dumore, complete with a turban and an exotic persona that made him stand out from every other performer on the circuit. This wasn't just an act. This was Rudy Ray Moore learning how to sell a fantasy, how to become someone bigger than life itself.
I want him out of here in 24 hours. 23 of them are already gone.
But then in 1950, reality hit hard. At 27 years old, he was drafted into the United States Army and served for 34 months. Most people would see military military service as an interruption to their dreams. But not Rudy. While stationed in Germany as a part of an entertainment unit, he reinvented himself again, this time as the Harlem Hillbilly. He performed for troops, honed his comedic timing, and developed the fearless stage presence that would later make him a legend. When he returned to the States in 1953, Rudy Ray Moore wasn't just a performer anymore. He was a weapon waiting to explode onto the entertainment scene.
In Louisiana said, we're going to give y'all anything that y'all want. They looked at the white soldier and said, young man, what do you want? He said, well, I'll tell y'all what I want.
Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Rudy bounced between Cleveland, Akron, and Milwaukee, working the Chitlin Circuit. These were the roadhouses and inner-city nightclubs that respectable people avoided. The venues were rough, the crowds were tough, and only the boldest performers survived. But regardless, Rudy didn't just survive, he thrived. He worked as a dancer, singer, and comedian, perfecting an act that was raw, rude, and absolutely unrepentant.
Yes, indeedy. I'm going to ask all the ladies on the ring side to cross your legs.
His comedy was filthy. His rhymes were profane, and audiences couldn't get enough.
I got a great big dick, it's mighty, mighty long. When I get in the I make it sing a song.
But here's the scandal that nobody talks about. In these years, Rudy developed a reputation that went beyond his performances. Rumors swirled about his personal life, whispers about relationships he kept hidden, about a lifestyle that contradicted his church upbringing. In 2012, documentary filmmaker Donald Randall revealed something explosive. Rudy Ray Moore never married and had no children. When asked about persistent rumors that Rudy was gay, Randall said he heard the accusations for years but never saw evidence. Then he found footage, interviews with people who confirmed what many suspected but few dared to say publicly.
And I know that pain. I watched it. I saw him live it as we traveled the country, and he'd be on stage and the women are screaming and Dolemite. And he was not into women.
Rudy Ray Moore, the hyper-masculine Dolemite character who bragged about women and pimping, may have been living a secret life the entire time.
He was closeted homosexual the entire time, and I know that pain. I watched it. I saw him live it.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the moment that changed everything. In the late 1960s, Rudy was working at a record store in Los Angeles when he overheard something that would make him famous. A homeless man named Rico was performing toasts, profanity-filled rhyming stories about a character named Dolemite, a badass pimp who took no disrespect from anyone.
I got Dolemite from the beer joint and liquor store Wise Men. There are gentlemen that sit out in front of the liquor stores and shoot the breeze all day. That's where I got Dolemite from.
Rudy was mesmerized. He bought the stories from Rico, adapted them, and started performing them at his comedy shows.
Took the 4th of July and put it in June and made leap year jump over the moon.
The response was insane. Audiences went absolutely wild for this character.
And the very first day I put this record out, when I carried it to the record store and they stuck the needle to it, carried it home, and 30 minutes later, I know we had sold 15 albums from the sale of one, and on and on and on. And
Dolemite was fearless, vulgar, street smart, and hilarious. Everything mainstream comedy wasn't allowed to be. In 1970, Rudy recorded his first comedy album, Eat Out More Often, featuring the Dolemite character.
It would come on, and before the music would start, he would always say, I hope this is a hit. This album called Eat Out More Often.
Okay, that's the first comedy record.
That's the first comedy record.
The album was too explicit for major record labels, so Rudy pressed and distributed it himself. It sold thousands of copies out of the trunk of his car. Then came the Dolemite album, This Ain't No White Christmas, and more. Rudy became known as the king of party records, selling millions of albums through an underground network that bypassed traditional music industry gatekeepers. His rhyming style, raw energy, and storytelling influenced every rapper who came after him. That's why they call him the godfather of rap.
in other words, when you say the Godfather and the King, I am the king of party records and the Godfather of rap.
But Rudy wanted more than records. He wanted movies.
So I decided to build my career further a few years later. I said, well, the only direction I can go is to make Dolemite for a screenplay.
In 1975, at 48 years old, Rudy Ray Moore did something unprecedented. He financed, produced, wrote, and starred in Dolemite, a blaxploitation film about a pimp who gets framed and sent to prison, then returns to take revenge on the criminals who betrayed him. The movie had no budget, terrible production quality, and dialogue so ridiculous it became iconic. Rudy performed his own stunts despite having no martial arts training. He hired his friends to be in the film. He shot scenes guerrilla style without permits.
He'll box as hell and practice kung fu. I put my finger in the ground and turn the whole world around.
Hollywood laughed at him. Critics destroyed it. But black audiences, they made Dolemite a cultural phenomenon.
It was made fun of. People said the picture never get played in a theater. And would you believe that the movie got played in the fabulous theaters like the Fox and the Woods Theater in Chicago?
The film became a massive hit in urban theaters, earning millions and cementing Rudy Ray Moore as a legitimate movie star. He followed it up with The Human Tornado in 1976.
Caught me in the bed with his wife. Now he want to try to take my life. Both step on it and step on it quick.
Petey Wheatstraw in 1977.
Yes, I'm Petey Wheatstraw, the devil's son-in-law.
And Disco Godfather in 1979.
I want you to put something in your article about this angel dust craze, the mess that's going around that is destroying our young people.
Each movie was low budget, outrageous, and unapologetically black. Rudy didn't care what Hollywood thought. He made movies for his people, and they loved him for it.
It's for you. Now don't be long.
Baby, this is going to be the shortest phone call in Bell Telephone's history. Can you dig it?
But here's the heartbreaking part. Despite all the success, Rudy Ray Moore never got wealthy. He invested his own money into every project, distributed films independently, and never had the backing of major studios that could have made him a millionaire.
We wrote the screenplay, we filmed it with the little money that I had made, put it together. In fact, about it, I shot Dolemite myself out of my own money.
And by the time he died on October 19, 2008, in Akron, Ohio, from complications related to diabetes, Rudy's estimated net worth was somewhere between $1.5 million and $3 million, depending on the source. For a man who influenced hip-hop, comedy, and independent filmmaking, it wasn't enough. He died at 81 years old, largely forgotten by mainstream America, remembered mostly by cult film fans and hip-hop historians who understood his importance. But death wasn't the end of Rudy Ray Moore's story. In 2019, something miraculous happened. Eddie Murphy, one of the biggest comedy stars in the world, starred in Dolemite Is My Name.
Dolemite is my name! Hey, you know, Auntie, I was thinking about putting out a comedy record.
A biographical film about Rudy's life, and struggled to make the original Dolemite movie. Suddenly, a whole new generation discovered Rudy Ray Moore. Critics praised the film. Audiences fell in love with his story. And finally, after all these years, Rudy got the recognition he deserved. Eddie Murphy's portrayal reminded the world that Rudy Ray Moore wasn't just a cult figure or a punchline. He was a pioneer, a risk taker, a man who refused to let anyone tell him what he couldn't do. He created his own path when Hollywood wouldn't open doors for him. He influenced rappers from Snoop Dogg to Eminem, who all cited his rhythmic storytelling as foundational to hip-hop.
Rudy Ray Moore thing, you know, giving a special shout out and tribute to the greatest of all time. Like I said, without him, there wouldn't be no rap community. And we're going to continue to push this real and letting the younger generation know what he means to this community that we call rap.
He proved that independent black cinema could thrive without studio approval. And yet, the mystery remains. Who was Rudy Ray Moore really? The church kid from Arkansas? The turban-wearing dancer? The army entertainer? The Dolemite character he played so convincingly that people thought they knew him? Or the man whose personal life stayed hidden behind layers of performance and persona? Maybe that's the point. Rudy Ray Moore understood something most people never figure out. You don't have to be one thing. You can reinvent yourself over and over again. You can be raw and rude and unrepentant.
And young lady, you don't need no fat man. Big as you are, you and a fat man like him getting to bed together, try to it would be a mission impossible.
You can make people laugh, shock them, challenge them, and never apologize for any of it. He left behind a blueprint for every artist who ever felt too raw, too different, too black, too bold, or too unconventional for mainstream acceptance. Rest in power, Rudy. Your legacy lives forever.